Okay, so our very last explanatory slides that we're going to be looking at is all about cultural celebrations. And with cultural celebrations, we're going to be looking at how a celebration, the people, and your food item, if you can make it fit, work together as part of a system, or how they all interact together. Now, this if you're aiming for a level 6, then this slide is going to be very, 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 very important. You still need it at all other levels, but at a level 6, you need to make sure that you get a lot of detail into here. So this is going to be very, very important. Now, this slide also can be a little bit tricky to find information for around your food item. And if that's the case, then you can absolutely branch out here and use a different food item. If you can't find any celebrations from your country, you can definitely use celebrations from another country, or look into something that you know a little bit more about, because it can be a little bit tricky. I'm going to be focusing on weddings as a celebration, okay, because it's something that happens in New Zealand, but also something that I can find a lot of information about. Okay, there wasn't much around mince pies. There's not really any celebration that is just around mince pies. And if your food item is the same, then that is fine. You can choose something else. So what is cultural celebration? We're looking at festivals, we're looking at celebrations, we're looking at events that happen in your country, that celebrate traditions of a particular people or place. Okay, so think things like Chinese New Year, think Day of the Dead in Mexico, maybe think even Christmas Day or Diwali. Okay, lots and lots of different celebrations that have food and people and celebration all interacting as one, within this kind of realm. All right, so we're thinking about festivals, celebrations around a particular people. So thinking about how your dish is celebrated, if there's any changes between traditional celebrations and now, and then how your dish is used in as part of that occasion or event. Okay, so I'm going to be focusing on weddings, and the wedding cake is going to be my food item, and the people that are getting married or the guests at the wedding are going to be the people that are involved. So a wedding is a ceremony where two people are united in marriage. Most wedding ceremonies involve an exchange of marriage vows by the couple, presentation of a gift, so it might be with offering or rings, symbolic items, flowers, sometimes money in certain cultures. And a wedding symbolizes the union of two people and their promise to provide for each other, and a wedding cake is provided. The wedding cake has a long history. Wedding cakes have their roots in ancient Rome from the beginning when it was actually a pie. Okay, so bringing in my tie with the pie, just so happens that it works. When marriage ceremonies ended with a scone-like wheat or barley cake broken over the bride's head for luck and fertility. Imagine that, having that cake, that bread broken over your head on your wedding day. Oh my gosh. Okay, so looking now with the interaction of food. So how is your food significant? Or how significant to the event, and how food interacts to make it a celebratory occasion. Okay, so we're looking a little bit at symbolism. What does it symbolize? How does your food item fit into that event? White icing was a symbol of money and social importance in Victorian times. So we're thinking like 1800s. So a white cake was highly desired. The fine white sugar needed to create white icing was extremely expensive, and the lighter the cake, the more wealthy the family would appear to their guests. So this is a symbol, okay? So it's talking about the symbolism of wealth from the family. The cutting of the cake is a task full of symbolism. The cake was originally intended to be distributed among the guests by only the bride, because consuming the cake would ensure fertility. Okay, and weddings back in the day were all about getting married, making a family, and carrying on your life together. As weddings grew and the number of guests increased, this task became a joint venture. The groom needed to help cut the growing cake and distribute it among the guests. As the cakes grew in size and weight, so they got bigger and bigger, The groom needed to help the bride cut the cake, and the tradition started of the bride and groom both sharing a piece of cake before the guests to symbolize their union and their promise to forever provide for each other. Now, I've got a couple of links. These links show some changes in wedding cakes over the course of time and a history of wedding cakes. So this is, if you're interested, you can have a little look at those. But moving into the example, okay, I've just copied and pasted those bits and pieces straight into my slides. Okay, so thinking about how the people, the event, and the food all interact to make it a celebratory occasion. Now, by all means, you can put more slides in. You can talk more about your event, okay? But just remember that you don't have to use something from your country if you can't find anything. Find an event somewhere around the world, a cultural celebration that includes food and people, and then bring that together to create yourself a really strong slide for this so that you can achieve at that wonderful level 6 level. Thank you.